What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about tier fours and answer the question as to whether or not do you really need to do them? Is level 80 enough? And I think the answers are really just going to come down to what is it you're trying to achieve in the game? Where are you at in the game? And what are you trying to do? Because the thing is, guys, whenever these characters reach level 80, it just seems like there really isn't no need to go any further and level them up to tier 4 unless you are trying to be ABX oriented. If you're trying to come into ABX and you're trying to get the highest scores possible, right now Ironman tier 4 is the best male blast. And then I believe Moon Knight's probably going to end up being the best combat as well in ABX, right? And they got to be tier 4 and really in order to get that to get those really, really high scores so they can have all those extra stats from their tier 4. Now, the other argument about the tier 4s, as far as, whether or not you really need them, is there like what they actually can do for you guys. So like the tier 4 for Iron Man is actually pretty cool because it actually gives him a shield. Increases his survivability a lot, plus it takes a lot of damage and deals more damage. So you get a nice damage buff and a little bit of survivability. And Moon Knight is actually pretty awesome as well because whenever you get him to tier 4, he also gives, this goes up to 110% all attack and gives him a solid heal as long as he remains in the area of effect that this is applying to whenever he does his tier 4. So not only do you gain the stats like on both of these characters, but you're also going to gain a lot of extra survivability. I would argue that, I don't know. Iron Man's shield is pretty damn nutty. That thing, you won't take any damage at all when that thing is up. It is crazy. And then Moon Knight here with his heals, it's just a constant refreshing heal, not to mention the extra 110% attack. So both of these tier 4s are actually really, really good. And if you were wanting to level them up for that reason, to get all that extra damage, to get the extra survivability, that's awesome, right? But do you really need it? Well, you guys have already seen videos like of me and other YouTubers, doing stage 60 plus against Null with Moon Knight. You've seen, crazy clears with Ultron. I'm going to show you guys a clear with Iron Man today at stage 39, guys, and he's still just level 80. Level 80, and my recommended resist is 172, and we know how hard that is. And the crazy thing about this is, since we only can use energy projection characters, we're going to be using just Iron Man, Cyclops for the leadership, right? And then no other support. Which is pretty nutty that Iron can actually do stage 39 Ultron without being tier 4. And on top of that, he's going to do it with a regular, normal proc. No Mighty, no Reforce CTP, nothing like that. And I'm just going to have Icarus on the team just as a little extra support, just kind of move around and get it done. And when you're doing those high levels against Ultron, it really does make you wonder, do you really need to tier 4 Iron Man? And, the answer is really going to depend on where you're at in the game and what you want to achieve, and obviously if he's your favorite character. And the same could be said for Moon Knight. Now, on my account, as I showed you guys yesterday, I was able to do stage 60 with this guy, right? But I do have 70% physical attack and 22% pierce, and I did have to use a reforged CTP, right? But it wasn't a brilliant. It was actually just a mighty, right? And it really does beg the question, do you need it? I think Netmarble really kind of dug themselves in a hole a little bit in a way, because what they've done is, because of these tier 4s, because their damage goes up by so much when they're just going to level 80, you don't have to put near as many materials in these characters just to go to level 80, that a lot of players are just going to stop at that. Even though these tier 4 buffs for these characters are just so good, and they are good, guys. Like, I would love to tier 4 both of these characters. I actually have Iron Man. Look at this, level 30, level 30, level 30. One more, right? One more to level 30, and then I can tier 4 him. But I'm actually kind of holding off because the materials are so hard to come by, especially those carbonadiums. They're so hard to come by that I'm actually waiting for the She-Hulk series to drop, because maybe Hulk will get a tier 4, and that's my favorite character. And that's really what I would suggest for a lot of you. Another thing about the level 80 characters is that they can just do any content in the game. Like when I jump in the Dimension Rift, guys, and I play on a mythical rift at level 6, Iron Man at level 80 can plow through it with a regular proc, with a regular 180% proc. And not only that, but he can easily destroy Dispatch Mission all the way at the top. He can do 515, this 12.5 on auto. On auto, he can do it. That is crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I'm pretty sure Moon Knight can too. I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure he can. Like these characters, just at level 80, just their value goes up so much just because they have the availability to go to level 80. And yeah, they become so much better when they're tier 4 because of the extra survivability, because of the extra damage, the extra stats, I mean, extra HP. Like there's so many good things about it. But the truth is, for most players out there, at least this is what I think and what I speculate, is that they really won't need tier 4 unless, and I think ABX is really where it's at, or if your account isn't really developed or very developed to where, having the tier 4 would really make that much more of a difference for you. But players that got a lot of Pierce on their account, 15% plus, I think a lot of them might just be happy with just having them at level 80. And I think even players that don't have a lot of Pierce would probably feel the same way because of how hard the resources are to get. And that kind of leads me to the thing with Netmarble. Like they set up a system to where it's really awesome for the player base because it doesn't take a tremendous amount of materials to take these characters to level 80. It really doesn't. And you get so much out of them when they are level 80. That's actually pretty awesome for all of us. But they dug themselves in a hole because, like, in order for players to really, go crazy and tier for these characters, they're going to have to come in these stores and they're going to have to buy these packs. And these packs are outrageous. I mean, I spent $100 on a pack. It didn't take one character to tier 4. You're going to have to buy a couple of these in order to tier 4 a character. And that's pretty expensive. So, whales obviously are going to go out and buy these things. And mad props to you if you are. But a huge majority of the players just aren't going to do it because they're already getting so much value out of characters at level 80. But it's one of those things where, like, later down the road, I do believe that we're going to get more materials. They're probably going to give us more farmable materials or increase the drop rates of those materials as more tier 4s show up in this game, just like what they've done with tier 2 characters, just like what they've done with tier 3 characters. I'm sure all that is going to be coming in the future, but I think as it stands right now, I really feel like most players are just going to keep these characters at level 80 and run with it. That's pretty much what I'm doing, guys. Like, my Moon Knight can do overstage 60 null. He's going to do those 4 clears for me at level 80 without even doing the tier 4. And yeah, he can die pretty easy, but with some careful gameplay, you can keep him alive. And Iron Man, then the run that you guys are going to see, he could get one-shotted like nothing against Ultron. And I mean easily. He gets destroyed because he only has 47,000 HP. And if he had his tier 4, well, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. He would just absorb damage every time he did the tier 4. It wouldn't even matter, right? And he would do more damage. But whenever you're playing with him just level 80, and this is the crux of keeping a character just at level 80 and not tier 4ing them, is you're not getting all those extra benefits from them, right? But you can still get it done with them without the tier 4. It's just going to be much more difficult to do certain clears because the damage that they're going to take is going to be astronomical. And if they had the tier 4s, then, well, you wouldn't have to worry about as much and you could be more careless when you ever play with them as well. So I'm going to leave you guys with the run against Stage 39 Ultron with Iron Man using this obelisk right here with 180% damage proc, which is just absolutely insane, guys. And let me know what you all think about tier 4s. Do you plan on keeping your characters at level 80? Do you plan on just waiting for your favorite characters to get a tier 4 before you decide to invest in them? And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.